Hello and welcome to Intro to Audio Technology. Show everybody is excited. Normally I'd be doing this in class, but of course you guys aren't here, which brings me to my first point. This class is designed as a face-to-face class. We are trying this first time to make it an online, given the current situation that everybody's in. Because of this, I'm sure there's going to be a few hiccups. The main thing is getting lecture videos out. I am not a videographer. I am an audio guy. So at least for the time being, there's not going to be any cool like fade in, fade outs. It's going to be strictly me giving lecture as I would be giving it in class. Eventually, probably by the end of the semester, I'll be playing with the cool features that DaVinci allows, and I'll probably put in a couple special effects just for it. Other note, most of the materials are already up. There's a couple things that, as of this moment doing the video, that aren't currently up. But most of the materials you need for the entire semester is up and ready to go. I promise, and I'll try, especially for those students who have taken this class before, to do my best and integrate as many punny jokes as possible. It's a little bit more difficult now that students aren't here because normally I riff off of comments and questions that students have, but I will do my best to make sure I integrate those as much as possible. So, purpose of this class is, as it has been, is to understand those basic principles and theories of audio, to make sure that you guys can demonstrate a basic knowledge of audio gear and to understand those basic concepts of mixing, recording, and sound reinforcement. Now, the goal is, and it's a little bit of adjustment from normal, is to make sure that all students have an understanding of how to work as that box pusher or bass audio technician by the end of class. Now, you still will have to come up with a couple extra skills by the time you get through there, mainly because you won't have that hands-on section, but we will do our best trying to get you as close as possible to that point. That theoretically, we could go send you out to work for like PSAV or those similar companies, and you can go get work now. We don't have any hands-on this summer, which is a big bummer. To replace that, we will be having a lot of audio editing assignments through Audacity. Now, I know it will be asked at some point, so I'm just going to address it now. We are using Audacity for this class. I'm sure there are students out there that have used something more powerful, Pro Tools, Reaper, just to name a few, and we'll go over a couple of those when we go into our Audacity lecture. But for the purpose of this class, so everybody is on the same foot, and to make and Audacity is a good program to learn. Anyway, we are going to be using Audacity for this program. The other thing to note, and this is something the university wanted me to remind you guys, is that if we had been in the classroom, we would be spending 5 hours in the classroom and another 10 to 15 hours are on homework, is what's recommended by the school, depending on how much you need to study. I say that because everything will be happening at home. All the teaching I do is happening at home. You can see I'm in my nice office here. You guys will be learning at home, or if you're lucky, maybe you have a park somewhere that you can get to that you can still get decent internet access. It will seem like we are doing more work at home than normal, which is technically true, but it's kind of to replace that 5 hours that we would be otherwise. So, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe it. See, I told you I had really bad jokes. And I had to, especially since we're going to be putting most of these videos on YouTube. So, roll call attendance. So make sure you sit in the same seat for the next 2 weeks so I can try to remember your guys' wait, we're not actually in class this semester. This class is set up as an asynchronous class, which means there's no set class time. You are going to be able to view the materials pretty much whenever you want to. Give or take, there's a couple videos that I'm putting up as response to everybody turned in their project. This is how you do your this is what people got wrong. This is go over so you do better on the next project. And most of the materials are already up there. The main thing is the video lectures that aren't up at this point, but many of the assignments are up except for 3 console assignments as of this moment. If there is interest, I will be setting up Zoom meetings between both classes. If there's an interest to do it, please let me know and we can try to schedule some time to do it if you guys have additional questions. I might just set up once a week at various times, like office hours, even though I'm adjunct and I'm not supposed to be doing office hours. I will probably try to set those up as I see there's interest for it. The other thing the school is trying to attempt, and we're trying to attempt to do, is open up what we're calling lab times. It's basically Ask a Rick. We will have videos of Rick. Rick Trucks is the assistant for this class, and he's a really good technician. He has really good stories. So if you want some good stories, please ask him some good stories. He excellent real life stagehand stories that have passed the last 40 or 50 years. But we're going to try to set up those times so he does have access to the classroom and he can get into the classroom. We're trying to work it out so you can actually see those materials. Now, Valencia does require that we count attendance in some way or the other. It's part of the core rules of Valencia. Per policy that they have put down, I have been asked to set up video quizzes. So these should be really simple, and they're going to be asking basically 3 basic questions. First one is, did you watch the entirety of the video? Even if you didn't watch the entirety of the video, please answer yes, because yes will be the correct answer to that question always. I will also be asking, what were some of the main bullet points of the video? So you can be like, oh, on connectors, it's XLR is our most popular connector. Or in this one, make sure you turn in the online discussions. I just need a couple sentences of that. Third, I will ask for some detail for the lecture. Now, it will probably be something like, what color is my shirt? So like right now, I'm wearing my blue-green shirt or teal, depending on how you want to look at it. I have like some blue shirts, some green shirts, so I'm just kind of looking for basic colored patterns. Second, I'll probably have like a book. Today is our book for class, Basic Life Sound Reinforcement. This is the one we're using for class. There will be questions on this for class, and we'll go into that, I believe, in just a second. Third, I will hide, because I used to have a collection of ducks. Well, I still have them. I just don't have an office right now. A duck somewhere. So today we have winter duck. See, winter duck. Quack, quack. And I'm asking you guys to go on a duck hunt. For you guys that don't know game, this is the controller for Duck Hunt. It's an old Nintendo game. Some of you guys don't know video games, I'm sorry. And the other thing is I will probably bring out an instrument. So for instance, this guy. This is the Galaxy instrument. He's kind of cool because he makes really neat. And I have a bunch of Foley instruments, so probably once a lecture, at some point, I'll bring out an instrument, and that'll be a detail that you need to answer on this quiz. These should be really easy to answer, to figure out, to know, because I will clearly be like, while I'm going through lecture, I'll probably do this number, or I'll have a book that has large enough text that you can clearly read what the book says, and you just kind of have to look, oh, it's that. So should be really easy, but and I don't expect anybody to fall into this unless they are just not watching the videos and doing the video quizzes. That per Valencia's policy of having to have at least 75% of attendance, setting a threshold that you need to score at least 70% on all the online the video quizzes. If you score below that, then it's an automatic 10% off your final grade of class. If you score below a 50%, then that's an automatic failure of class. And that's per Valencia's policy on keeping attendance. Now, on the other hand, I put it in because you have to put in some sort of score for Valencia or for Canvas that it counts as an extra 1%. So, if you get all of them right, or at least most of them right, you basically get an extra 1% on your grade, which doesn't sound a lot, but a lot of times that extra 1% will make the difference between somebody getting a B and A, or a C and a B, or Sometimes even some people are on that cusp between a D and an F, and it's a difference between either you pass the class or fail the class. So I would say really easy to do. They'll be due at the end of the week whenever lecture's done. So, for instance, this lecture, it'll be due this Sunday. Um, at the same way, the connector lecture that will be happening also this week will also be this Saturday. So just check in for that. Be due at the end of the week. I will probably, as soon as I get a video up and as soon as I get the details, I will have the video quiz. So theoretically speaking, you could go ahead and watch all the videos within a week period, depending on how many I get up, and go ahead and take the quiz. And you will have a couple different chances to take the quiz just in case you got it wrong. Now, keep in mind with all quizzes, and I'll go to in a second, if you misspell blue or green, or I happen to put teal and you put blue green, it won't give you, because quizzes don't give you all the points automatically, and I'll go over that in a minute, the way Canvas works with quizzes. But don't fret if at the first time you take it, it doesn't give you full points. So, required materials for this class. Number one, you will need access to a computer. It's an online class. You're going to need access to a computer. Tablets, phones, Chromebooks do not count as this requirement for the computer. And the reason for that is we have very specific software that we need to use, specifically Audacity. Tablets and phones can't use Audacity. Chromebooks technically can use Audacity. There is a way to do it, and I've seen it done, worked with the student to get it done. It's complicated. It requires you to have a Chromebook that uses an Intel processor, and it basically requires you to not fully break into the OS of Chromebook, but halfway break into it, and it's not the ideal way to do it. So, if you do not have a laptop for some reason, and you're watching this on your phone, you're like, oh, I don't have one. Valencia has a program right now that allows you to basically check out a laptop for the summer session. If you're enrolled for the summer, you can go check out a laptop. That laptop has a camera and a microphone, and it has enough processing power that you can use Audacity and use Canvas just fine. You will need to run, make sure you can run email, Audacity, and our console programming software, and I have details about that in our syllabus. You will need a webcam and a microphone, both for if we ever do Zoom meetings, and Valencia has a new policy on how to take tests that they're trying to implement that theoretically will be implemented by the first day of class. You will need a 20 to 30 foot cable. Now, if you have an extension cable laying around and it's still of good quality, by all means use the extension cable. If you don't, you have two choices, I would say. You can either go purchase an extension cable from, Home Depot, go get a decent quality one, a 16.3 will be perfect. Or if you plan to do any audio in the future, go to Amazon. They have GLS audio, and I have the link in the paper syllabus. It's $11 including shipping to get it shipped in. Easy peasy. You will need a steady and solid internet connection. Please don't try to be working off of tethering of your phone. It has worked poorly in the past for students that I have known trying to use it to try to get connection. If you have internet connection issues, I would suggest get an Ethernet cable and plug right into the router. I know some students that their wireless routers are not of the greatest quality and won't give decent speeds, and especially when you're trying to download things, it just makes things slow. So it might be worthwhile to try to go ahead and get a wired connection. You will need a set of headphones. Please do yourself a favor and don't use the headphones that you got from the airplane. They were free. There's a reason they're free. They're not that great. Also, don't use your Apple iBuds. They're also not that great. They'll work, but I would suggest get a better pair of headphones. Books, as I said, and here's our book for today, is Basic Life Sound Reinforcement. This is a book for all of the intro to audio classes, and we will be having questions straight from the text of the books. Now, something I'd also have been asked to remind you of in the idea of, purchasing things, this guy you can buy online or you can buy the digital copy for. Um, you guys, in a way, do have a little bit of extra money to purchase things because this semester we have waived lab fees because you can't get into the lab. So that equates to, I believe it's either $100 and $125, in which you guys basically got money in which you can use for class. So I would say best thing to do, if nothing else, buy yourself a good set of headphones. Now, again, with the recommended materials, um, a USB microphone will serve you well in the long run. Either getting something like this blue snowball here, which is made for computer use, or if you plan to do any field recording, if you're planning to do video stuff, getting one of the Zoom series, and it's especially nice if you get one that has XLR inputs. And if you want suggestions, feel free to email me. I can give you suggestions based upon your specific situation. Big thing I would suggest anybody working in any entertainment is get a nicer set of headphones. Behringer, incidentally, as much as people make fun of them, Behringer does make a $20 set of headphones that would work excellent for this class. You can get them from Amazon, free shipping, $20, done and done. And it looks like right now, as of this video, they're actually shipping on a regular basis. You can get them by the end of the week. If you plan on doing this more, getting a $50 to $100 set of headphones, which is what these guys are, they're about $120, will serve you well in the long run. I find getting a USB webcam helps out rather than the one that's on the computer, because then I can put it exactly where I want it. I can look at it right at the screen. But that, again, is up to you. I would always suggest getting a mouse. And then we have a secondary book. This guy is not required, but this guy is also $7. So it might be worthwhile if you're trying to save a little bit of money, but you still want to have a book at the end of the class to rent this guy out. He rents for, I think, $20 to rent it, $30 to buy. I would say buy it, but that's just me. And this guy runs you $7. It's a good reference manual if you want to remember the basics. So videos. All the videos I will upload to YouTube due to space on Canvas right now. That is finding to be the best way. I'm also going to attempt to upload them to my media, which is directly tied into Canvas. Right now, the university is trying to get more space so we can use my media as a full server. So I will probably end up having them in both locations, but know that they will definitely be on YouTube, which also will probably mean that you guys will have easier access to them. We'll have a couple different types of videos, and I will, on the files bin, on the very root directory, right under the syllabus or above the syllabus, depending on how I name the file alphabetically it runs. There will be a PDF document that goes videos, and it'll have a link to all the YouTube playlists that I make. So it'll have all the videos in there. It'll also have a short description of those external videos so you can look what I'm looking for, or what you are trying to look for that video. Because some of the videos are not this is how you do something, it's this is what you should not do. For instance, for the next lecture, there are, I believe, 4 or 5 videos that I put on there. A couple are on how to coil cable properly, including one on how to do it the video style, which is a little bit different than how most people teach on how to coil cable. One on the Japanese International Cable Coiling Contest, of which they coil their cables extremely fast, and something that we all would love to aspire to, and how quickly to coil cables. And one on a guy who really has no idea how to coil his cable and does a really bad job. Although it looks really pretty, it is not the way you ever want to coil a cable unless you are just trying to decorate your garage. So please read the descriptions that I put on this is something you want to watch as a good thing, or this is something you don't want to, or you want to watch as a bad thing, or watch this 90% of this, but he has one bad fact, or she has one bad fact in the video that you want to keep your eye on. This is not actually the right or wrong way to do something. So we will have lecture videos like this guy right here that you're watching right now. Supplemental videos are those videos that we have linked on YouTube. Project demo videos, which I will be going step by step on how to do every single one of the projects. How-to videos, which are how you would have done things if you had been in the classroom. The main one you will need to watch is that intro on how to coil a cable, which is already up and ready to go. But we'll have several ones on like how to coil up a wall wart, how to inventory your system, to try to give you a better idea of how things would have been had you had the hands-on experience. Eventually, and this might not happen until more closer to the end of class, we're going to try to put up some videos on how those evaluations would have been if you had the hands-on, so you can at least see the process of putting them together. And there'll probably be a couple fun videos as well in this miscellaneous bin, just things that I think you guys should key into and know. So late work, and this is one of the few things that I am a little bit more of a strict stickler about. I don't like to be a stickler on attendance. That's Valencia's policy. I'm a little bit stickler on late work because in this industry, if you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, well, you ain't getting the job and you ain't getting paid. This is especially true with any of the big work around this industry. If you are 30 seconds late to a call, if you're not even, there's some calls that if you are not signed in 5 minutes before the call, they will call you and let you know that you were too late. You might as well turn around and go home. So this is why I try to be a stickler on it, because our industry is a big stickler on being on time. So all assignments that I have a due date and a close date that is listed on Canvas. Some of those are the same, some of those are different. So on our test, you have 5 days to take it. There's 2 or 3 days of which it's considered late, and then it closes. There's some assignments that there's a due date, and then you have 2 weeks of which you can turn it in for late, and then it closes. Once an assignment is closed, you cannot turn it in. It's not eligible for late work. It's not eligible for me grading. It's just closed. We have moved on to a different topic. And normally that means that we have moved on so far away from it that it's not worth you doing the assignment. It's not worth those late points. So for any late assignment, it's 5% if that assignment is due during the day, and then 5% for each additional day. Not as much of a case for the online classes, because I believe all my due dates are based upon it's due any time during the day. So if you turn it in late, it's just 5% starting off that next day. But if we had regular class, and so your class was at 10:30 and you didn't turn it in at 10:30, if you turned it in at 2 p.m., then it would be considered late. Again, not as much of an issue for this class. So the system automatically puts in that late grade. That's the way Canvas works. I say, okay, this is late, this is late. Just FYI, if you don't turn something in and it's due on Wednesday, on Thursday, Canvas will pop up that you didn't turn something in and automatically put a 0 in for that assignment. That doesn't mean you might not be able to turn it in. That just means that for the time being, you did not turn in that assignment. It is now late, and the system thinks you won't be turning in that assignment. Big thing on things that the due date and the close date are the same is online discussions. This was established both by the entertainment design program and the video program as a way to try to make sure that students turn things in on time, and it's closed and it's done and we're moving on to the next thing. So make sure you turn in the online discussions, and I'll go over what those are in just a moment. The other thing to note, because I'm sure it'll come up, is say you do a project and for whatever reason, you didn't have enough time, you didn't get it done, et cetera, you only get 50% of the project done. You turn in that 50%, but don't realize that you had only turned in 50%. I get grading done really quickly, and say the project's due on Monday. I get everything graded on Tuesday, get your comments back through the rubrics by Tuesday, and you realize, oh, I forgot 50% of the project. And then by Wednesday, you get it turned in. So Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, that's 2 days. That's 10% off the project. I take off points based upon when you turn in the final day of the project. So if you And sadly, it's happened before. If you turn in um, a zip document with nothing in it, I can only grade the nothing. If you turn it in later, even if you had done it, and I do believe that students do actually do it, if you don't turn that in until the Wednesday with the full amount of projects, it will be counted as if you had turned it in on Wednesday. So make sure you double check that you have everything in those projects, and I'll go over that again in just a minute. So, online discussions post. For this summer for the online class, they'll be due every week. They're open for 2 weeks. Every time they become open, I have an announcement. They get opened up on Thursday, and they close on Friday. Technically, you're supposed to close on Thursday, but I give everybody an extra day. You get an automatically extra day. Please turn them in. They're really, really easy to do. You follow the instructions. You make sure that you give me full paragraphs. If I ask for full paragraphs, if I ask for 3 sentences, you make sure they're 3 sentences. I am dog is not a full sentence. I am a brown dog who's wagging his tail and walking through the forest. There's a nice, good sentence. That's a full sentence. So make sure you're giving full sentences and full paragraphs if I'm asking for full paragraphs. Check your spelling and grammar. It's really easy. Grammarly is a Chrome add-on that you can install right on it. If not, you can have it in Word and then copy and paste it over. Post any links that you are sharing. If I asked for you to share or post links, it's very important that I have those and they're copied through. They're due again every Friday. Respond directly to the discussion. Now, there's a couple ones that I ask you to submit a video. Those ones that I'm asking you to submit video, you need to submit those directly to the discussion and not submit those somewhere else. I have students who tried to email me. I have students who tried to put them in a comment section. You need to respond directly to discussion because a lot of times those videos we're asking we're asking other students to respond to your videos as well, or there's some discussions that you have to post an article or post a description of something, and we're asking you to respond to it. If you don't post to the discussion, then other students can't respond to it. Do also keep a note. If you post a video, you might need a lower quality than what the maximum quality that your camera can do to get it to post on Canvas efficiently. I don't care if you put it at 640 to 480. That's perfectly fine with me. It doesn't need to be in high def, ultra high def that I could, I don't know, see all the hairs that are on your chin. That's not a requirement. I just need a very basic video off of it. So assignment turn-ins. This is online. We're turning in all assignments using Canvas. Make sure you turn those in through Canvas and not try to turn them in through some other method. I've had students that tried to get around the whole the project is closed by either emailing me or post them in the comment section of an assignment. And the comment section of the assignment does not notify me that you have turned in a project. It just notifies me that you have made a comment. Internet speeds get a little bit finicky. Make sure you allow yourself enough time to post those projects. End of semester projects will get a little bit bigger as well, so it might be worthwhile to try to submit it the day beforehand. If you try to submit it and you try to submit it at 11:58 and it takes 10 minutes to submit because your internet connection isn't that quick and it doesn't actually get submitted to 12:15, well, the time you turned it in is 12:15 and it's considered late. So just keep that in mind. Also, please, for my sake, please follow the naming instructions from the project. Every single project that I have an example of how to name that project so that it makes sense for all the projects that need to be turned in. It's really basic. Put your last name, put your first name, put a dash, and then whatever the project is. This way, it's due to the way Canvas allows me to download projects. If you don't name it this way, I try to download the entire class worth of projects, and if I do that and I open it up, It will then name everything. If everybody names their project Audacity project, then I get Audacity project, Audacity project 1, Audacity project 2, Audacity project 3 with no link as to which student it actually goes to. So if you could, please, like, it's part of the requirements, name your file the way that it's requested. And there'll be a video on naming instructions and how to set up folders. And this is to ensure you guys get the maximum number of points and to also try to ensure that you have turned in all the parts of it. The other notation is I can only grade what you upload. I can't grade on what you were potentially planning to upload. If you don't upload it, I can't grade it. So I have had a couple of instances where somebody uploaded a zip file that had absolutely no information in it. The zip file was good and valid. It wasn't corrupted. It was a good zip file. It just had absolutely no information in it. And I couldn't grade anything because they hadn't submitted anything. So make sure you double check when you submit something that it works. Now, I would, as a student, upload it, see that it's there, and then try to download it myself and open that file just to make sure that it was working. That is what I would do as a student. Whether or not you do that, that is totally up to you. Tests and exams. All tests will be taken online. There'll be a combination of multiple choice, fill in the blank, matching, and some short essay. And what I mean by short essay is I'm looking for like 2 or 3 sentences. I'm not looking for an actual essay. That'd be really annoying to grade. They will be available around 5 days around the exam date. Check the syllabus, and whenever I post the study guide, I will list what day it is open, what day it is due, and what day it is closed. I'm leaving you guys a little bit of a leeway, is that it'll be open for 5 days, and then you'll have another 3 days which you could, or 2 or 3 days which you could do it, which will be considered late. So that 5, 10, or 15% off. And then it will finally be closed because at some point I need to grade all of them and post them. So you'll have one chance to take the test. It will be timed. Those timings are posted. I believe all the tests are at 45 minutes. The exam one's at an hour and exam two's at an hour and a half. But I'd have to go double check Canvas to ensure that. The timings are based on 3 times it took the average person to take the paper test. So I'm giving you a lot of extra leeway to take it, but hopefully not so much leeway that people are trying to look things on the internet. We will either be implementing the lockdown browser or HonorLock. Right now, everything's set up for lockdown browser. If HonorLock gets online, and it is supposed to get online as of Monday, the very first day of class, we will be using HonorLock because the school will then require HonorLock to be used. This does require that when you take the test, you will have to have a microphone, you have to have a camera because this is the way HonorLock works. But we'll see what the implementation of that is. But it sounds like a good program to use, and the school will require us to use it. Also keep in mind that when you take the test and you get that, and it gives you an automatic score, the score is auto-generated based upon the multiple choice that you got correct, the fill in the blank that you spelled correctly, the way I spelled it, and any matching that you got the entirety of them correct. It will not count any essay questions. It will not count any bonus questions. So normally on any given test, there's 10, 15, 20% worth of those fill in the blank that you may have misspelled, or the bonus questions, or those essay questions. For instance, there will be a question on what's the correct way to coil a cable, and the correct way is over and under. Well, most people will put over space under or over slash under, but some people will put over semicolon under. And if I don't have that semicolon as a correct spelling, then I'll automatically count it wrong. Now, I go into every single test afterwards when I'm grading the essay and the extra credit, and I check what you have gotten wrong. And if I look at the wrong and go, oh, they put over under, but they put it in a different way. It's correct. They got the answer correct. I'll check it correct, override it. You'll still get the points. I don't know how many students have misspelled cardioid. cardioid. But that gets misspelled all the time. If you put one too many I's or one fewer I's than you were supposed to, I'll still count the question as correct, as this is not a spelling thing. The other thing that I would suggest is just make sure you do. There are practice quizzes for every single test. Make sure you take those practice quizzes. They don't have 100% of the questions from the test, but they have about 80% of it. Go take those, especially if the connectors test. They'll spit you out 10 connectors at a time. You just take the test over and over and over, and you can take those infinity amount of times that you want to. And if you can get 100 on these practice quizzes, you're probably going to be in good shape. The other thing that you need to do is I have set up a testing your systems quiz. And this is specifically to ensure that your computer is acting properly and able to handle any sort of test or quiz that I can throw at you. And also make sure that you have already installed like your lockdown browser, or if we get to it, the honor lock, because you have to install and plug in. You don't want to be installing this when you're actually taking the test. It will burn some time for your test because you haven't installed it. So make sure you take that practice system quiz. It has a bunch of photos. You'll see what kind of nerddom that I'm into through it. But it allowed you to go, oh, I was able to do it. It only took 15 seconds for me to see every single one of the photos. I was able to access all of the multiple choice. Everything's good. My computer's running great. Let me go ahead and take the test. So that's just one of those, like me trying to help you guys make sure that you guys are set up for success as much as possible. And it has really good pictures, so go see some cool pictures. So modules, I haven't set modules up the way most online systems do. You have to go step by step through the things. If this online class decides to continue, then I will probably set it that you have to go and take the test for test 1 and then test 2, and then you can be free to take all of the things at your own pace for the entire semester. That is not the way this class is set up. This class is set up as if you're actually taking class. We're just doing it online. Readings, practice, test, all those are grouped together based upon the tests they are. Again, make sure you take those practice quizzes. Not all those questions are in the practice quizzes, but a good portion of them are. Documents, all of the documents that we have for class are organized by the type of assignment. So say it's a thing for assignment, you can go into assignments, click on it, and all the files are in there too. I give you a bunch of files like for the Audacity files. All the sound effects you need are in there, and I'll go over that later. But everything is over in the file section of the documents, including your syllabus, things I need you to know, any papers, any additional materials, readings that I might think are important. They'll all be in there. I'll also always try to make sure that I put a link on the individual assignment page. When you're looking at the syllabus, if the syllabus on the computer doesn't match the syllabus that is on the PDF syllabus doesn't match the syllabus on campus, always refer to the one that is on the PDF. And that's due to the way that if I make something due late, every once in a while, it'll show up that late date instead of the actual date. So just make sure you look at what it says on the PDF syllabus. So fun part now, a little bit about me. Sound design engineer. I mostly do theater and live events. Right now, I'm not doing much theater or live events because we're all shut down. But I mostly work in that live end, both behind the console, in front of the console. I've done some recording, but most of my bread and butter has to do with setting up for events, setting up for conventions, setting up with people actually in front of it. I have 2 pupperinos, and I'm sure at some point you will hear them barking because, oh my God, if the mailman comes through, then we have to know that the mailman has come through. The darker brown one is Gabby. She's, I think, 7 years old now. She's a good puppy. Calm, cool, collected. Likes to give you kisses. Likes to play fetch and chew on sticks. That's her main thing. And then the brown one is Jack, or how we lovingly refer to as Jack Jack. He's about 2 2 or 3 years old. So he's very much still in puppy mode. And we kind of refer to him as Jumping Jack because if he gets really excited and he wants to give you a kiss, he can jump right up there and give you a kiss mid jump. He's done it before, and it's kind of funny when he does it, and people are not quite expecting that, even though they are used to him. Incidentally enough, he was not named because he's in Jumping Jack. He was named because my wife wanted to name one of our dogs something that was an audio term and also a human name. And so Jack was the first thing that came into mind because you can have an audio Jack and Jack is a human name. And so his name is Jack and we call him Jack Jack. And he is a Jumping Jack and we still love him because he means well and all he wants to do is cuddle and be loved. So cable coiling, for cable coiling. And if we had hands-on class, this is where I would be asking you guys to go out and grab a bunch of cables and go start cabling. Can't do that. So we use the over and under method. You only use the over and under method for audio cables. You also use it for most other electrical cables. The exception is multi-cables. Electricians normally don't like to use the over under method. Sometimes they'll figure eight it. You never want to do this for rope. Rope is a very, very bad idea to do it. Riggers do not like it because there's a tendency to get knots. And whatever you do, don't ever wrap the cable around your arm. That's an easy way to get us to be frustrated at you if you wrap it around your arm. So click on over. There's a supplemental video of Rick teaching you guys how to coil cable, and that is the end for Syllabus Day. Have a good day.